Have you ever felt trapped, suffocating under the weight of your circumstances? The feeling of being cornered with no way out can be overwhelming. Imagine being a brilliant young student, your mind teeming with ideas, dreams, and aspirations. You have the potential to change the world, but poverty chains you, crushes your dreams, and leaves you feeling hopeless. Every day is a struggle for survival, and your ambitions seem like distant fantasies. This is where we meet Rodion Raskolnikov in Fyodor Dostoyevsky's masterpiece, Crime and Punishment. St. Petersburg, a city of contrasts, pulses with life and decay, mirroring Raskolnikov's own internal struggle. The grandeur of the city stands in stark contrast to the squalor of its underbelly. He sees a way out, a terrible solution to his problems, murdering a greedy pawnbroker who preys on the vulnerable. This act, he believes, will free him from his financial woes. The air crackles with tension as Raskolnikov convinces himself that he is above conventional morality, that he is not bound by the same rules as others. He sees himself as a great man, like Napoleon, destined for greatness. He believes that his extraordinary intellect justifies his actions. He justifies the murder as a necessary evil, a means to an end. In his mind, the death of one corrupt individual will pave the way for a better future. He tells himself it will bring good, that the world will be a better place without the pawnbroker. But deep down, doubts begin to fester. But his act, brutal and calculated, unleashes a torrent of guilt and paranoia that consumes him. The weight of his crime begins to crush his spirit. Dostoyevsky doesn't shy away from the darkness. He delves deep into the human psyche, exploring the consequences of Raskolnikov's actions. He throws us headfirst into Raskolnikov's tortured psyche, forcing us to confront the consequences of his actions. The internal battle is as intense as the external one. The murder scene, raw and visceral, lingers long after you finish the chapter. It is a haunting reminder of the cost of Raskolnikov's ambition. It's a question we grapple with throughout the book. Can a good act justify a horrific crime? The moral ambiguity leaves us questioning our own beliefs. Raskolnikov isn't your typical villain. He's a complex character, a study in contradictions, embodying both light and darkness. He's capable of great compassion, even as he plans a brutal murder. His actions are driven by a twisted sense of justice and a desire to test his own limits. He gives his last kopecks to help a stranger, yet he justifies taking a life. This duality is what makes him so fascinating and terrifying. This internal struggle, the battle between his good and bad impulses, forms the emotional core of the novel. It's a relentless tug-of-war within his soul. Imagine the weight of his secret. The constant fear of being discovered gnaws at him, eroding his peace of mind. Every creak of a floorboard, every unexpected knock on the door sends his pulse racing. The paranoia is suffocating. He's haunted by his crime, tormented by nightmares and feverish hallucinations. Sleep offers no escape, only more torment. Dostoyevsky masterfully captures the psychological toll of guilt, the way it eats away at Raskolnikov's sanity. The shadows of his actions loom large over him. Through Raskolnikov, Dostoyevsky forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature. We are made to question our own moral boundaries. Are we all capable of darkness under the right or wrong circumstances? What would it take to push us over the edge? Can we ever truly escape the consequences of our actions? Or do they follow us like shadows haunting our every step? In stark contrast to Raskolnikov's descent into darkness stands Sonya Marmeladova, a young woman forced into prostitution to support her family. Sonya embodies purity and compassion. She represents the possibility of redemption, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. Their relationship is a study in contrasts. Raskolnikov, the intellectual criminal, drawn to Sonya's innocence. Sonya, despite her circumstances, offering him kindness and understanding. She sees the good in him, the potential for redemption, even as he pushes her away. Sonya becomes his moral compass, challenging his nihilistic worldview. She represents the possibility of hope and forgiveness. But can he accept her compassion, or will his guilt consume him? Before we continue, if you're enjoying the content, hit like and subscribe for more insightful summaries. Enter Porfiry Petrovich, the investigating magistrate, a cunning detective who suspects Raskolnikov from the start. But Porfiry isn't interested in just catching a killer. He wants to understand the mind of the criminal. He engages Raskolnikov in a battle of wits, a psychological game of cat and mouse that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The interrogation scenes are electric, crackling with tension. Porfiry's words are like probes, poking and prodding at Raskolnikov's carefully constructed facade. He knows Raskolnikov is guilty, but he wants him to confess, to confront his crime and seek redemption. But will Raskolnikov crack under pressure, or will he find a way to outmaneuver the brilliant detective? The weight of his crime, the constant fear of exposure, and Sonya's unwavering belief in his soul ultimately push Raskolnikov to confess. The burden of his actions becomes too much to bear, and he realizes that he cannot continue living a lie. He confesses his crime, not out of remorse, but out of a desperate need to escape the torment of his own guilt. The confession is a pivotal moment, a turning point where he confronts the darkness within himself. His punishment is not just imprisonment, but the crushing weight of his own conscience. The isolation and regret gnaw at him, making every moment a struggle. He is sentenced to 8 years of hard labor in Siberia, a harsh and unforgiving environment. The physical toil mirrors the internal battle he faces every day, yet even in the depths of his despair, a glimmer of hope emerges. The harsh conditions begin to strip away his arrogance, revealing a possibility for change. Sonya follows him to Siberia, embodying the unwavering power of love and forgiveness. Her presence is a beacon of light in his darkest moments, offering him a chance at redemption. Can Raskolnikov find redemption through suffering? Can the pain and hardship he endures cleanse his soul and lead him to a new beginning? Can he forgive himself and embrace a future free from the shackles of his past? The journey is long and arduous, but the possibility of redemption remains. The enduring power of crime and punishment isn't just a crime thriller, it's a timeless exploration of guilt, morality, and the human condition. It's a story that stays with you long after you finish the last page, prompting you to question your own beliefs and the choices we make when confronted with extraordinary circumstances. Dostoyevsky's masterpiece is a testament to the power of literature to challenge and transform us. It's a journey into the darkest recesses of the human soul, but one that ultimately offers a glimmer of hope for redemption. We reach the end, but before you leave, join our community of passionate readers by simply subscribing to our channel, where your love for knowledge and great stories truly matters.